the big thing is that Georgia is healthy. They are good and they are getting healthy and they are headed in a great direction. That's what Kirk Herbstreit had to say Tuesday night. And you let's tell the story of last night real quick, Matt. So you texted me and said what? Can you recall? Go ahead.
I said, I don't think I've seen Dylan Bell since the touchdown catch against Florida. He's got no carries and no receptions in the last two games. And I texted you. I said, did I miss something there? I knew C.J. Smith, the receiver, was banged up, but did something happen? Something wrong with Dylan Bell? And what did you say?
Yeah, you said what's happened? And I said Kendall Milton and Brock Bowers happened. I mean, they're back where they when we came into this season, there was a lot of confidence about Georgia and what they could do. There was a lot of confidence about Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Michigan. There was a perception that those four had separated themselves from the rest of college football. And then we had the first month of the season, and that wasn't so obvious, Matt. I mean, Michigan wasn't playing anybody. Georgia was kind of, and then Ohio State was not looking great, and Alabama was looking bad. So that foursome took a step back. Well, here we are now. Why did they take a step back? At least in Georgia's case, they were seriously roughed up in ways. You didn't have Lab McConkey. You were losing Amarius Mims. Kendall Milton was not right. There were a lot of problems. You had Dylan Bell playing receiver and running back, looking like a total freak at points at running back. So they got where they needed to go finally. Probably, well, I mean, I guess this past game against Ole Miss is the first time, Matt DeBerry, that they have been completely healthy. Am I wrong? I might be missing somebody.
I think so.
Because they never had Ladd
Yeah,
and Amarius Mims in the same game.
yeah, and I think Ladd was just getting back to full health when Brock went down against Vanderbilt,
Correct.
and you're seeing how much better this offense is when both those guys are healthy too. There's only one football, and there's a lot of weapons. And I remember it just feels like several weeks ago. It was probably early last month in October when Kirby said, "This is the most banged up I've ever been, since I've been the coach here. This is as banged up as we are." And now they might be one of the healthier teams in college football. And that's without their starting middle linebacker who's done for, I guess, this season.
Well, we
If
don't.
any other no, I don't know the specifics, so maybe
Right.
not. Maybe he's for bowl practicers, playoff, whatever. But if any other program out there, Dean, lost their starting middle linebacker, they'd be going nuts, right? That'd be huge. At Georgia, they just replace him with a true freshman who goes out and makes 9 tackles.
Well,
That's just what
it's
they're doing.
it's an amazing situation that Georgia's in. I mean, but now they've chosen that they've gone out and and recruited. They've gotten the job done. I'm you checking our Eco Poly buddies as I talk about this, but you know they have planned for this. This is not a mistake, Matt. I mean, they wanted this. They have chosen to go get deep players, develop things. Georgia's done an outstanding job of taking what's out there around the state, around the country, using their brand and winning in recruiting and then developing and all this stuff. And then they put that onto the field in a major way. Let me just say this about this. If you've not seen this before, Adirondack chair from our friends at Eco Poly down in the heart of Georgia, Dodge County, Eastman, Georgia. They're doing a great job. This is a recycled plastics, completely made in-house, 20-year warranty. Everything except the screws are made in the heart of Georgia. Make sure that you're taking advantage of our offer. The link is right down below, 15% off. And I can tell you, I've been sitting in it since we've had our partnership deal with them. Matt, it's a very comfortable chair, and mine is red and black as it turns out right now with gray pads. So if you're wanting Georgia in your life, this is the place for you. I mean, I have wood right here, and I have Eco Poly right there. It looks awesome. But anyway, I think that so much of the NFL, I know you consume a lot of the NFL like a lot of us, and so much of the NFL is this person hurt? Deshaun Watson gone for, he's 3 of the 5 years. Now, he has to play to get that full contract. 2 of the 5, he's not playing hardly at all. So, horrible contract for the Browns. In the NFL, that's like one of the major things out there, Matt. And I don't see why it's any different in college. You just have more players to potentially replace guys with. But Georgia's
Yeah.
dealt with that with Pop, with Ladd, with Brock, with Mims, with Kendall. They've all had their time out.
Yeah, and that's why it's important for Kirby to get some of these young freshmen in as early as possible, and in those cupcake and in games against Ole Miss when you're up by 34, 35, 40, whatever it is against a quality opponent, and you're able to get those freshmen in. It does help in the long road because you're only going to get better with experience. You're not going to get a whole lot better on the bench. You can in practice, but you need that game experience, and Kirby talks about it all the time. But Damon Wilson is getting after it. He's a true freshman. We're seeing Jordan Hall. Of course, C.J. Allen has been very, very good already. Monroe Freeling playing at tackle. It's important for these guys because when someone goes down, it is next man up. And I will say they recruit a lot of guys who are physically built in high school, who have the muscle on them already to where they just need a little bit more in the beginning of the strength and conditioning program at Georgia to where they can play as a freshman and be physically capable enough to play against guys in the SEC for sure.
So my freshman year, the two guys in front of me both got hurt. We did some adjusting. This was in November of a basketball season. November. So right off the bat. And coach was like, hey, you need to be ready to go tonight. And so we have back-to-back games. And you're freaking out because everything's happening so much, so quick and all this stuff. That doesn't happen at Georgia. Why? Because those guys play. They play immediately, game one on. So I don't know how much I don't know how much the freshman linebacker has played in terms of, we're 10 games in the season. How many full games has he played if you piece it all together, would you guess?
He's played in every game, and I think he's played a significant amount of time in probably most of them. So, he played a lot against Ole Miss. So it's more and more.
So of the 10 full games, has he played 3.5 or 4 full games?
Full, probably.
So
probably full, meaning in and out consistently throughout the game. I mean, they rotate a lot.
That's what I'm talking about. If you just condensed it, and he was the only guy that went out there, so that's a lot of experience for someone who's a backup. Yeah. DJ Shockley, people don't remember this, or maybe they choose not to. DJ Shockley played a lot as a freshman in 2002. They, against Clemson, against South Carolina, against Florida, against Kentucky, against everybody.
Florida State. I think he threw a touchdown pass, right?
Did he? Now, I can't remember that as well. That was an ugly game, that Florida State game. Because I think Florida State's quarterback was a wide receiver. Was it Anquan Bolden?
Anquan Bolden,
yeah, like
right? 2013. I think you're right. It was a receiver. It was not Chris someone. It was a receiver. Or McFadden. Something McFadden.
No, I think it was Anquan Bolden, but I will look that up as I rant. It gives them the capability to develop. I mean, once you've been out there with the band playing, it's not that, like I was not prepared. I didn't know that I was going to be out there that night. I'm like, it was very quick. Something happened. I think somebody couldn't do something because of a class or something. So here I go, boom. That's not happening at Georgia. They have the capability of these guys just going and playing. It's a great experience. It's great for them to do that. It was Anquan Bolden, Matt.
Let me know if DJ threw a pass in that game. I don't know why that sticks out to me. Maybe he didn't.
He did. Okay. Very quick history. Billy Bennett, Georgia legend.
Yep.
Anquan Bolden. Bruce Thornton, Buford.
Bruce
Thornton, Buford. Terrence Edwards, big dog post guy, or he should be. Just kidding, Terrence. So Terrence got a 37-yard touchdown from Shock. And then Billy Bennett took it from there. Billy kicked field goal after field goal after field goal, and they just sort of routine their way to a win against the Noles. That was a big game for them, Georgia. And it was
that was huge for Rick and the program.
But these guys, they are healthy. They are healthy. Speaking of the Sugar Bowl, they could be the healthiest. We're going to have to see. Why have we not yet heard that Jamon Dumas-Johnson is out for the season? I think they're trying to figure out how they can do it if it's possible. So that's out there. I don't,
he won't be back in Alabama.
No,
right? I think that.
Well, we don't think he's going to be back. So we got to be skeptical of that situation. But, last year they lost, Nolan. They lost Jalen Carter for an extended period of time. This is just a new world of college football. Well, it's not really a new world. I mean, guys, I remember when Craig Lumpkin got hurt and Georgia's season looked like it was completely gone, and then boom, here comes Danny Ware. I mean, it's just the way it is. You've got to be ready. The backup's got to be ready.
They better be ready if you have a championship caliber team and championship caliber program, because it can't be one guy goes down and that's it. And Kirby's built this program to where it's never going to be like that. Even at quarterback, behind Carson Beck, there's 2 5-stars, right? Behind every tackle, there's probably a high 4, low 5-star, maybe a high 5-star tackle waiting in the wings. He's probably in his second year. Defensive line, so on and so on and so on.
Has Ernest Green played not as well as Broderick? I don't know if that's a 1-to-1 switch, but
Broderick last year in 21 was better than Ernest Green now, but Ernest has the potential to be a premier left tackle in college football and a possible first-round pick. He's playing better and better, and he's stout. I mean, he is a reliable, dependable tackle, and this is his second year. He's a sophomore.
So one last thing on all of that. What's important to remember is Broderick did not play a lot in 2020. Then in 21, he started playing more. And then by the end of the season, he was not always starting. But when they needed to score a touchdown against Alabama in the national championship game, Broderick Jones was in there, and the offense started suddenly moving a little bit. Was it all Broderick? No. But you have to be ready, and it's the development. It's slow, man. It's just you have to – those kids have to play. And that everyone's healthy now. Maybe they won't play as much, but they're going to be ready. Dylan Bell, I texted you too now. I said, I bet he makes a play. And people will have forgotten about Dylan Bell. But he will make a play, and it'll be like, oh, my gosh, I forgot about him. Yeah, that was the guy that drug you through September. You know what I mean, Matt?
Yeah, Marcus Rosenby, Jack same guy. I think he's worth like 1 really good catch a game, maybe 2. And then it's like, this guy's kind of a freak. Yeah. That was a great catch. But there's only one football, and on a team like this, when the ball does come your way, you need to make a play on it because so many other guys need to touch the ball too. And if you're Carson, you're better because of how many weapons you have. If he distributes the ball well, it's so tough to stop all those guys.
Thanks for watching.